All right, here we go. Today you're going to solve trigonometric equations, and what I'm going to allow you to do is solve between 0 degrees and 360 degrees. So instead of going in radians, we're going to do degrees because that generally is just something you're a little bit more comfortable with. And we start by solving 2 sine of theta minus 1 is equal to negative 2. Today we're going to solve easier ones. Tomorrow we're going to solve more difficult ones. This problem is straightforward and easy. What do you think I do first? I add the 1. 2 sine of theta is equal to negative 1. And I divide by 2. Get sine of theta is equal to negative 1/2. So the whole idea is I am trying to determine where sine of theta is negative 1/2. Or rather, what angle would you plug in to make that statement true? And here's how we determine it. Draw our quadrants. In which quadrant is sine negative? Third and fourth. So I've taken care of the negative. Then in order to get the angle, I go to my calculator. So this is one I've heard some people say the answers already. They know it's 210 and 330, which is very good. If you sine inverse 0.5, again, don't plug in the negative. We've already used up the negative by determining the quadrants. So if I sine inverse 0.5, I get 30. So what that means is I put 30 degrees, and the angle always goes against the x-axis. It's called a reference angle. A reference angle allows us to solve for these angles because there's some similarities as you go around the 4 quadrants. So you go to 1/2, 1/2, negative 1/2, negative 1/2, and they all have that 30-degree angle in common. So this is my first angle, which is 180 plus 30, or 210 degrees. And then I have 360 minus 30, which is 330 degrees. If you would go to your calculator and take 2 times the sine of 210 and minus 1, you can see that you get negative 2. So that's how you could check your answer. Now, your book solves for all of these in radians. And so if you want to check your answer in your book, you're going to have to convert it then to degrees. So instead of 210, your book would give 7 pi over 6. Now, it doesn't just list 7 pi over 6, it lists another measurement as well. So it would go around to here, and it would go around again, which is plus 2 pi. And it will go around again, which is plus 2 pi times 1. And around again, which is 2 pi, or 7 pi over 6 plus 2 pi times 2. And so it lists that answer as 7 pi over 6 plus 2 pi k, which basically means this. There's an infinite number of solutions. It's 7 pi over 6, but then however many times you want to go around in whichever order you want to go around in. So I'm not asking you to do that. I'm simply asking you to list 210 and 330. Okay? But you would have to convert 7 pi over 6 to 210, or just simply plug 210 into the equation to make sure you're coming up with the right answer. So let's try a couple more. Okay? Number 2, what do I do first? So negative 5 secant of theta is equal to 11. Divide by negative 5, and I get secant of theta is negative 11/5. Oh no, panic button. I don't have secant on my calculator. So cosine of theta is equal to negative 5/11. In which quadrants is cosine negative? The second and the third. Now again, you always draw the angle between the terminal side and the x-axis. I don't type in the negative. I just go cosine inverse of 5 divided by 11. And I get 6296. Yep, to the nearest hundredth. So I am not I'm not plugging in the negative, and furthermore, you don't use these spaces here. It's always against the x-axis. So theta is, you would take 180 minus 62.96. And then 180 plus. And there we have it. What do you think about that? Not bad. Could be worse. Okay. Number 4 is actually quite easy. I'll show you. On number 3, what do I do? Very good. Rich is on a roll. Subtract 5, I get negative 8. Divide by negative 6, I get 4/3. Now what? Quadrants. Now what? Three and 1. Now what? Tangent inverse 4/3. I get 53.13. YouTube, one of my students just said, this is so fun. Math is enjoyable. That's what the press does. They just cut quotes off wherever they want. I mean, all right, so we got 233.13. Any question on that? Going once, twice, 3 times. Okay, now, so Jay Aki says that number 4 looks like it's going to be challenging. Jake from State Farm says doesn't want to do this one. It's really not that bad. How do you think it start out? Holy cow, people. No. I distribute. What should I do next? Combine like terms. Negative 6 cotangent of theta plus 6 is equal to 5 minus 2 cotangent of theta. Yeah, so if I add 2 cotangent over to the other side, I get negative 4 cotangent of theta is equal to negative 1. Divide by the negative 4. Cotangent theta is 1/4. Tangent theta is 4. Quadrants. $75.96. I've got theta is 75.96 and 255.96. Sweet. Good times, huh? What makes number 5 different? We got 4 more problems we're going to do today, and these are all going to be slightly different. Squared. Now, that looks like it would be really bad. It's really not that big of a deal. If we subtract the 1, We get 3 secant squared. Theta is equal to 11. Divide by 3. Secant squared of theta is 11/3. Yeah, we could square root it. Before we square root it, I'm going to change it to cosine. Still don't like it? Now I'm going to take square root. Cosine of theta is equal to, and when you square root a variable, what do you have to list? Plus or minus the root of 3 over 11. Now, some people get really angry at me at this point because they're like, well, you got to rationalize the denominator. Well, I get it. I get your point, but that's not my final answer. I'm just going to use that to find my final answer. So don't worry about rationalizing the denominator. It's just more work. So I got to look at where cosine is positive, but also where it's negative. Where is it positive? 1 and 4. Where is it negative? 2 and 3. Yep, so how many solutions are we going to have here? 4 of them. So I go cosine inverse of the square root of 3 divided by 11. And I get 58.52. Yep. And then 180 minus 58.52. 121.48. And plus 180 to 38.52. And 360 minus would be 301.48. 4 solutions there. Oh. Three. Uh-oh. What do we do for number 6? I got 2 tangents going on here. Factor out a tangent. Very good. Sweet. So I'm going to use the zero product property, which says I can factor it out and then set each equation equal to 0. So tangent of theta is equal to 0. And 2 tangent of theta plus 1 is equal to 0. I'm going to handle the one on the right side first. Tangent of theta equal to negative 1/2. Where is tangent negative? Second and fourth. $26.57. So do 180 minus the answer. 153.43. $180 minus 26.57. The 150. Whoa, sorry. Gotta do 360. So if I just add 180, it'll actually work out here. 333.43 degrees. Now we got to consider where tangent is equal to 0. Maybe this is something you know. Maybe it's something you don't, but you're going to have to reference this. Tangent of theta is equal to 0 at 0 and 180. It's undefined at 90 and 270. You went through problems like that a long time ago, and you've used it every once in a while, but that's what we know. Because this point right here on the unit circle is 1, 0. And tangent is y divided by x. So 0 divided by 1 is, whereas the coordinate here is 0, 1, and y divided by x, 1 divided by 0 is undefined. So if you think about those points, then sine of theta is going to be 0, 1, 0, and negative 1. And cosine of theta is going to be 1, 0, negative 1, 0. And so having those points in your mind is really helpful when you get to these kind of spots. So where's tangent of theta equal 0? 0 degrees, 180 degrees, and 360. So you need to list between 0 and 360. Did you get that shirt at Nike Outlet? Okay, I'm going shopping. My wife doesn't watch these videos, so for my wife's birthday, which is happening in about a month, I'd like to get her some. I think she likes some of the athletic clothes. So I'll go to Nike Outlet. I don't know. Got it better, thought B. Rody? B. Locke, what? Oh, should I buy her clothes like you? That will not happen. She got all the kids home right now anyway. She's all my kids are on spring break, so. All right. I know that she does not watch my videos. What did she decide? Or is that what you want for? What? What? We're gonna have a prize here. Anybody would come up with the best gift idea for my wife for her birthday, I'll bake for you. Tickets, fly. You think I should fly her back to the Grand Canyon? Just her. No, you both. Oh, both of us. I'll watch the kiddos. You'll watch the kiddos. Oh my gosh. And then you can. Oh, you guys are nuts. Some of these kids, I don't want to watch my kids. All right. We got 5 cosine theta plus 4 times cosine theta plus 1. This is a trinomial. I factor it just as though it was 5x squared plus 9x plus 4. So, yeah, see how it factors? Pretty easy. So now I can use that zero product property. Cosine of theta plus 1 is equal to 0, or cosine of theta equal to negative 1. Well, according to our last problem, where was cosine of theta equal to negative 1? Yep, 180. And then here we do cosine of theta is equal to be negative 4/5. Well, now I got to put in some extra work. Which quadrants is cosine negative? Second and third. Inverse 4/5. 53 something probably. And I get, 3687. I was thinking of the complement. So if we subtract 90, there's a 53. 36.87. Yep, that'll be the sign. Looks like that would be 180 minus would be 143.13. If we do 180 plus, would be 216.87. Now we're going to do number 8 tomorrow. Who can remind me to do number 8 tomorrow? Okay, B. Rodney, you're going to tell me to do number 8 tomorrow. So how many solutions do we get here? Previous problem? 5. Previous problem? 4. Previous problem? 2. So I can't tell you whenever you're going to get 2 solutions or 4 solutions or 3 solutions or whatever. Okay, well, let's look at number 9. Last example. Factor out a tangent. Thank you. I hit a different theta button. Everybody freaks out about it. It's just like cursive theta. I don't know. Don't worry about it. It doesn't like you, but it doesn't say anything. Jeez, Jake from State Farm. So I get 2 plus sine of theta is equal to 0, or sine of theta is equal to negative 2. Where's sine equal to negative 2? Yes, every other class got it. Come on. Oh, what's the biggest that sine could be? 1. What's the smallest sine could be? So there's no solution here, right? So then we have to look at where tangent of theta is equal to 0. We just said where tangent theta is equal to 0 in a different problem. Where's tangent equal to 0? Theta equals 0 degrees, 180 degrees, and 360 degrees. Nice. Thank you. Well, let's just try. Let's go second sine inverse of 2, and you're going to get a domain error because exactly. All right. So 1 through 19 odd. We'll add on that tomorrow. Get you a study guide as well. Yeah? High five? Is that okay?